Hello, my name is Tom, and I'm here to introduce a brand new YouTube channel called History Delights. Now, I currently have a YouTube channel called Knife Delights, and on that channel I explore share my passion of knives and being a member of the knife community. But I needed an outlet to express my second passion, which is history. So now viewers will have two channels to choose from. If you really just want to see about knives, well, you can watch Knife Delights. If you love history, here you are with History Delights. And if you like both, hey, you can watch both channels. So I'd encourage everybody, if you like this content, and as I am able to produce more content for it, if you'd subscribe to the channel, help the channel grow, spread the word about this new channel. And for the inaugural video, I'm going to share some footage of Civil War cannons and mortars that I filmed. I did some interviews at a recent Civil War reenactment. So until next time, I'll keep my introduction brief. Enjoy the video. If you do, please hit the subscribe button and share it with all of your friends. So until next time, have a very delightful day.
The model of the 12-pound mortar.
12-pound mortar? Okay.
Yes. The only thing difference is the board size will be quite a bit wider on the 12-pounder.
Okay.
The first step once you fired it is you need to worm it out. Make sure there's no debris in it. Second, you stop the vent, use water, make sure that all unfired powder or fired powder is out and not burning, and you want to hear the pop when it comes out.
Okay.
Because it shows you've actually had the air stop. Then I'll just dry out the extra moisture.
Okay.
I don't have any more charges prepped right now to shoot again,
That's fine.
but then it's ready to go for this next shot.
Okay. Can you tell us what's the difference between a mortar and what a cannon would be?
Well, the mortar has a tendency to lob it higher up and drop it down over the top. And then so you could actually set up behind a hill so you're protected and you can't be hit directly from a cannon fire. And so you could actually fire from cover.
Okay. So
This is
scale replica.
This is there for safety purposes because once you go off, what's left of the fuse becomes a projectile.
Okay. And on a full-size mortar, about how big was the crew? How many people did it take?
To be honest with you, I don't know.
Okay.
But if they operate it like a standard gun, it'd be 5 men.
5 men, okay.
But 5 men around something this small
No.
ain't gonna work well, so it's probably a 2 to 3 man team.
Right. Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing. Well, now this looks like a interesting piece of battlefield equipment. Can you tell me what we have here?
Yeah, what we have here is a Civil War mountain howitzer, a 12-pounder, on a pack carriage.
On a pack carriage, okay?
A pack carriage. That meant that this cannon was carried into the field by 3 mules. 1 mule would carry the barrel, 1 mule would carry the trail, and the 3rd mule would carry the 2 wheels and 2 ammunition chests.
Okay.
And the reason they did this was this gun was used in heavily wooded areas or mountainous areas where they couldn't bring in a bigger cannon.
Okay, so it's very mobile.
Very mobile, and this cannon was used a lot in anti-personnel usage.
Okay. About how many men did it take to man one of these mountain howitzers? The crew?
Typically, this would be manned by 6 people.
6 people, okay. Could you show us just the basic steps of what it took to load and discharge this cannon?
All right, the first thing we do is we search the piece with a worm.
Okay.
While we plug the thumb or the vent so that we don't allow any air into the chamber.
Okay, so you're plugging that hole.
Now we're going to search the piece with the worm.
And you're looking for any hot embers or hot pieces of cloth or anything
Yes.
that's left in there, right?
Exactly.
You don't want to put powder in there if you got hot stuff still in there.
No.
Okay,
Okay, and after the piece is wormed, then we will sponge the piece.
okay,
And the sponge is the same thing as to extinguish any burning embers. Okay,
now was there a certain way that you hold on to that?
there is.
And the reason for it, if you want to tell us
What
both?
we do is we palm it.
Okay,
You never want to wrap your hands around it or grip it. And the reason for that is if there's any burning embers in there and it happens to fire, this will take off like a missile, and we don't want it taking our hands with it.
okay, very good.
So it's actually gripped fairly light.
Okay, so we've got everything out of there. You've swabbed it out. Now what are we going to do?
Now what we will do is we will call for an advancement of the round.
Okay, and of course there'd be more people back here around this cannon.
Yes, there
right?
would be one guy manning the chest, which is called a powder monkey. We'd have a guy with a round sack there with the round in it. He would advance up to the corporal, the chief of the piece.
Okay,
He would inspect it and make sure it's the right round that the sergeant has called for. And he will advance it to number 2.
okay,
And for this, I'll play both positions.
Sure.
Number 5 would open the haversack with the round in it.
okay. Now I have to stop everyone. You see how he has kind of his back to everybody? He's turned around. Why have you turned around?
The idea is to protect the round from any incoming fire.
So you're a sacrificial lamb in a way.
That's very true.
Okay,
That's the way to put it.
You didn't want the enemy to see what you were doing.
That's
Okay.
correct. And more, we didn't want a bullet to hit the round and prematurely detonate it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So number 2 would then take the round and set it into the muzzle and then back out.
Okay.
And there I'm going to take number 3's position.
Sure.
again.
All right, and number 1, he actually calls for number 2 to load round, and then he's called for ram. So we would end up ramming the round, same way, grip it underneath, then he'd call round home. Then the chief of the piece would call out pick and prime.
Okay. So we're going to put the primer in there.
Well, we got a
But
little
first we have to check and make sure the charge is all the way at the back of the breech, right?
Okay, now we check it. If the charge is all the way back, go ahead and pick it. Call out good pick.
So you're looking to see that there's some powder on the end of that.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. And then we put in a primer. We actually hold the primer with the pick to keep your hands away from it. All right. Then the gunner will call, come to the ready. He'll check everybody. And then the gunner will call fire.
Okay, and then we'd have a very loud explosion.
And then you repeat all of the steps again.
Okay. So there was a lot to taking care of just one piece of artillery, wasn't there?
Yes, there is.
Yep. So back here then you have all your supplies and everything.
Yes.
But along with this you would have a limber,
No,
or what would you use with this?
we have 2 ammo boxes.
Okay. So you didn't use limbers on the small cannon. Okay.
This is on the pack carry.
That's right. That's right. Yep. So you had a little less equipment to have to carry around
Yes.
than with the big ones, but so one can only imagine when you had several of these firing from both sides with the black powder, how much smoke it would create out on the battlefield.
It's quite a lot of smoke.
Quite a lot of smoke. Okay, well thank you so much for sharing this. Any final words that you'd like to say?
Well, this had typically had a range of about 800 yards.
Okay,
So it was a close quarters gun. It
okay,
wasn't a distant shooter.
sure.
Like I say, it was used a lot for anti-personnel.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we're going to be having a battle here in a little while, and I'm afraid I might be having to take your position. So, to the best man may he win, right? Okay, take care.